Recently, coffee giant Starbucks announced they'll phase out single-use plastic straws from all stores by the year 2020.
A lot of times people think that to try and have a company that is doing good has to be a not-for-profit, but you can still be a for-profit, making a profit, but also doing the right things to make it, whatever you're producing, good for the environment, good for society.
Today we find out how YSU marketing students are taking it one step further in the new YSU. Here in the Launch Lab at Williamson Hall on the campus of Youngstown State University, students are working with a lab technician to print prototypes of a travel mug.
And it doesn't matter if it's round, it doesn't matter what material it is.
It's part of a project they're working on for their marketing principles class.
We have so many of these, mugs that we use all the time. So they came up with what was called the woodchuck cup. Say that a couple times fast.
Michael Ponticos is a senior lecturer at the Williamson College of Business Administration. He says the idea behind the woodchuck cup is to build it using only recycled or renewable materials.
What's great about having Launch Lab, the 3D print lab here at Williamson, is that we could do prototyping. And what makes it fun is that you're going through that whole process. Developing who your target audience is, coming up with the name of the product. Coming up with that story that says, hey, this is who we are, we're better than so-and-so because we're giving back.
Qusay Nasser is a senior majoring in marketing management. He says as an extra incentive, the team came up with the idea of offering to plant a tree or feed a child for every cup purchased.
Everybody has a cup. Everybody wakes up in the morning, has a cup with them. So if everybody bought a cup and we gave back, like say we planted a tree for every cup, just imagine how many trees we'd plant or how many children we'd feed.
Lisa Bryant is a junior in business administration and says that prototyping helps the class correct any issues that come up throughout the design process.
It helps us get an idea of what it's going to look like and how we need to move forward as far as, since it's going to be metal inside, what companies we need to work with to get that metals in, and also the wood, how we need to prototype the wood sleeves that are going to go around it. It's going to help with the sizing of everything and how it's all going to fit together. We'd like to pre-design wood sleeves that go over it so individuals can individualize their cup based on what they like and their preferences, and they can change it up daily, and depending on their mood or where they're going that day, it can be fancy, it can be fun, it can be playful.
Lab assistant Mark Bliahu says using plastic for prototyping instead of the actual materials the final product will be made out of is less wasteful.
With this, you really could get the size and shape and feel of everything down relatively quickly. It might be the better part of a day, but it's relatively inexpensive, and we can quickly spot errors and fix them so that when we're building and creating with more expensive material, it's not going to be a waste.
After some trial and error in the Launch Lab, students successfully produced the inner cup that the previously manufactured wooden sleeve will slide over.
We know that if we go through the next one, just to make sure the base fits perfectly around at the bottom of the cup, the sleeves can come off, and we have our finished product of the woodchuck cup.
You can take an idea and actually be able to see it right in front of you a lot quicker than if you were to design it on paper and then have to actually bring in the materials to make the product to get your first prototype.
3D printers, yeah, they look kind of cool, and I could, print out these little toys and trinkets, some of the, inexpensive models. But when you really want to, and really that entrepreneurial spirit, it's going to reduce costs in the long run because now you can get something to exactly where you want it to be.